Hey there, Dougals. How's it going?
It's going.
Welcome to Dungeon Date, a weekly one-on-one D&D adventure starring us, the Hoffers. I'm Christian Hoffer.
I'm Darcie Hoffer.
And, yeah, we are here. We are live.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have 10 viewers. So
do we have any viewers?
I don't think we do.
We have 0 viewers. We're just doing this for us, not for y'all. Sorry.
But if we get 10 viewers concurrently tonight, we will make an on-stream live announcement of big Hoffer news. Big, juicy Hoffer news, Darcie. What could it be?
Well, I know.
I know.
Anyways,
well, way to ruin some of the surprise. We actually have 3 people watching us.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
Hi!
Anyways, so Darcie, where exactly were we in our D&D campaign?
I just punched Charles in the face because he deserved it because he's a bastard.
And why exactly is he a bastard? Do you remember?
So according to my notes, because I need my lovely, lovely notes to remember anything anymore, the private door is a special secret club that he said some magic words and just shoved me through a fucking door.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had to defeat this creature that had 8 legs, a large mouth with hooks and claws.
Yes. So for those of you who haven't caught up on our last episode, Darcie's character, Estelia, is investigating a series of murders which had happened over the course of the last 6 months. While these disappearances were all seemingly random, the 4 bodies were all found in a cave outside the city, all of which had their eyes sewn shut, their mouths sewn shut, and their hands chopped off. So Estelia, who works as a blade for House Olafaros, went and began investigating. For those... I mean, there's only 2 people here. But a blade is kind of like a kind of spy, kind of agent, can be an assassin. They wear many hats. Estelia, for the time being, has chosen not to divulge her identity as a blade to the public. So we enter, and you have just been pulled up from this, like, cave, kind of like almost like an underground stone fighting pit. And you get pulled up with a rope, or actually more climb up. You and your faithful guard / associate, Kieran, and you are surrounded by mostly men, all of whom Charles is probably the youngest person there. There's a couple people who are a little bit older than him, and they're like late 30s, early 40s, but you notice that the majority of them are older men, half-elves. You see 1 elf and a couple of dwarfs. This appears to be like a very nice room.
Okay.
The pit that you've been pulled out of, almost resembles a well from one side. You see like a small stone wall, probably, so nobody falls in. And you have just punched Charles in the face.
He deserved it.
He does.
He does deserve it.
So you hear a lot of, oh, ho, 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 Charles, the new recruit has spunk. Oh, 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 oh. As you punch him in the face.
I just glare at them.
And Charles is like, kind of sitting there, and he looks up apologetically at you. He's like, sorry. One of the rules about the private door is we don't tell anybody what they're getting into. Yeah. So, but you passed, so you're now a member. Congratulations. Would you like a drink? And Kieran is like, yes.
I'll accept a drink, but I won't drink it.
So you hear a slight rumble on the ground as, boom, boom, boom. And suddenly appearing in a far doorway in front of you is a very large figure, at least 7 feet tall. very rotund body. But as you look up, it is not the face of a human. It is not the face of an elf. It is not even the face of an ogre. It appears to be a large hippopotamus head. He is wearing very fine regalia. Almost military regalia, although you've never seen this sort of military before. Strangely enough, as you examine him, in addition to the hat that he wears on his head, which you, Darcie, would know to be kind of like a safari hat, but Estelia wouldn't know that. He has two strange contraptions, kind of like hanging from either side of his very large belt. On one side, you get a glance of it, and it almost appears to be a curved horn of some kind with a handle. With a at the end of this horn, it actually extends and gets wider out, like a trumpet. Once again, Darcie, you would recognize this as a pistol, but Estelia, like a very old-timey pistol. And he goes, "Oh, I did not realize it would be new recruits today." And he kind of pulls out a monocle out of his pocket and like leans down. It's like, "Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, a lady. Interesting, interesting. Indeed. Charles, I assume these are some of yours?"
You're Charles.
And Charles kind of like, I was waiting for you to say something. So Charles kind of like...
fucking talking hippo. What am I supposed to say?
Charles is like, yes, Balderdash. This
Balderdash?
Yes. He's like, "Oh, yes, and he extends a huge hand out and, take you, and he goes, "I am Balderdash Piddleston." He's like, I take it that, you've never seen, something, and he pauses for a second, and he pulls out one of the pistols, "like this before?" No. He's like, this, well, interesting, and as he, like, swings it about, everyone else kind of, like, ducks down, and he's like, and he points over at a vase. He's like, "Watch this!" And he points and he fires it, and suddenly there's you hear a huge bang, and there's a hole right above the vase. Does not hit the vase at all. And he's like, need to get this recalibrated, I see. And he stuffs it back.
That's hilarious.
He's like, well, welcome to the private door, a gentleman and gentle ladies club for adventurers at heart. You have already passed our initiation. I trust that it wasn't too difficult." And Kieran's like bleeding from like the injuries he sustains. He's like, "I got like stabbed." He's like, "Oh!" And he pulls out a little bottle and just hands it to Kieran. And Kieran's like, "Is this booze? I'm just going to drink it." Chugs it back and hands it off. It's like, "So, shall I give you the introductions? I take it that you will want to be entered into our monthly drawings." And he's already walking.
Am I supposed to follow him?
Are you?
Is everyone else following?
But no, he's, seems to be...
But he's talking to me.
Yes, he is.
Oh yeah, I'll follow.
Okay. He's like, "So..."
I don't know what's going on right now.
It's like, "This is our main gallery, of course." And he's just kind of pointing to the room that you're in. You walk in and you see like a smaller room with several like cushy armchairs, and there's a couple of like old gentlemen smoking what appear to be cigars.
Okay. This is literally just gentlemen's club. Are there naked women somewhere?
No.
Okay.
And he's like, "Heavens, no! No, we have class here." So from the smoking room, you walk into another room, and this appears to be a kind of like the Disney World recreation of like an adventuring tavern. So it's like just a little bit too clean to be an actual, like, tavern for adventurers.
But it looks like it.
It looks like it. And, like, you can clearly tell that, like, the wood...
Like souvenirs up on the wall.
Yeah, there's, like, you know, like, what... You can't tell if the swords are real or not. There's a roaring fire. And I will say, because this is a gentleman's club, the beer wenches are dressed like beer wenches. And, like, they're, like... And they all kind of, like, stop. And they're like, oh, my God, it's... And, like, one of them, like... kind of bustles up to you, and she's like pulling up her shirt as she does so. She's like, it is so nice to meet you. I can't believe they finally let a woman in here. Can you like try to do something about the uniforms?
I mean, I don't...
Thank you so much. And,
uh-huh.
and he's like, wench, a beer! And she's like, oh yes, of course, Balderdash. And she like bustles over. And he's like, you do not have to call them wenches. It just helps everyone to get into the mood.
The outfit, can we do a little bit more coverage?
Well, I do not quite understand why humanoids show off their mammary glands in such a manner, but
We don't. Men just like that.
That is interesting.
I think that those, what you call wenches, are very uncomfortable.
Oh, well, that will not do. I will increase their pay by 10%. It does not mention anything about the actual dresses. And, like, the woman, like, kind of, like, comes back with a beer. When it's a very large, like, basically, like, a pint. So she's, like a mini cake, like a pony cake. And she's, like, carrying it, like, two hands. And she kind of, like, shrugs as she hands it. And Balderdash just grabs it and is like, oh, ho! So, there is one other stop, and he bustles across the fakish tavern and opens up the door, and there is an armory.
Ooh.
And it is, you like glance around, and there's like
now I'm intrigued.
Swords and shields, full like sets of armor of like every size. You do kind of like get the sense as you look around, like once again, the weapons all seem to be a little bit too clean.
Like they've never actually been used.
No, you can see like there's like some of the shields are a little dented.
Okay.
But like, you know, you kind of get the sense like not all the swords, like the swords just look, you know, like they're very elaborate hilts and guards and pommels. And you're like, is that really practical? And Kieran's like looking around and he's just like, holy shit. This is how do you have anything like this, Estelia? You're rich. Like this? Is there just like
is there?
Not like this, no.
No, not like this. Our stuff is practical.
And he's like, the finest armory in all of Olafaros. Of course, one of the perks to it being a secret is we can, of course, stockpile such fine weaponry and armor. For the, if you are chosen to participate in one of our monthly hunts, you can, of course, take whatever you'd like.
What kind of hunt is this?
He's like, well, that is the entire point of the private door, my lady. Once per month, we draw. And 4 lucky adventurers are chosen to descend into the well and face whatever danger lies beneath.
That could sound fun.
It is.
Do we have to use your weapons?
No, of course not.
Okay,
If you prefer to use another weapon, you can use whatever you would like.
Okay.
There's also a couple of private sitting rooms in case you ever have private business here. But this is about the extent of the private door. He kind of looks over at you, and he looks
quite
expectant.
impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah. Everything's so shiny.
It is.
And clean.
Our staff works very hard at keeping this at the finest condition.
So how do you fund this place?
I personally come from a place of high wealth, let's say.
Oh, okay.
And since I cannot go back to my home, I felt why not make myself comfortable here?
That's fair. This is a very comfortable position to be in.
It is, it is.
So, do people ever go missing from your club on their adventures?
Well, not from the adventurers, no. Should one of the adventurers go awry, I myself will step in. It's only happened once in the last year.
Oh, what happened?
Well, unfortunately, the group of adventurers who descended into the well bit off a bit more than they could chew. Their strategy was unsound, and they were unfortunately quickly incapacitated by the monster, which we still keep down in the pit.
What kind of monster?
It is, he looks and he's like, what was it called? What was it called? An ettercap.
Ettercap?
Yes, an ettercap.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
Make a nature check or an arcana check. I think they're both the same.
Yeah, they're both +2.
Getting a dice roll and early?
20.
An ettercap is a humanoid-like spider creature.
Ugh.
Able to climb on walls, shoot webs, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Nothing that would tie, sew mouth shut, with its thread?
I mean, it shoots out webs. You don't know what kind of webs.
Oh.
But it's certainly possible.
Because I saw one of them, right?
The bodies?
Yeah.
No.
No. Oh, okay.
No, you never asked to examine them. Wah, wah, wah. We need to get a soundboard.
For all the stupid shit that Darcie does. Like not examining the dead bodies of the murders that she's investigating.
Yeah, and you would have known what sort of material. Anyways, he's like, but I assure you, the way that you took down that beast, I doubt you would have any problems with a creature like that. Kieran's like, again, I was bleeding, and he's like, but I guess I'm healed. And he's sitting there and drinking a beer and trying very hard not to stare at the waitress's chest. He's very much he's found a spot up there and is kind of looking up at it. And he's just drinking, and he's very nosebleed.
What's he staring at?
It appears to be a shield of some kind.
You like that shield?
It's I don't know what shield.
The one you're staring at.
Yeah, no, it's a lovely, lovely set of shields.
Balderdash, can we get that shield down for him to look at a little closer?
Unfortunately, you guys are back in the tavern at this point. It's those shields do not come down. We bolted them to the wall.
Okay, then.
Strictly for show.
I see. That's why they're so shiny. So, what other monsters do you have down there?
A variety. We bring in monsters, as necessary through some of our club members, and he kind of thinks for a second, connections.
Beautiful.
And he has already finished his pony keg for beer, and he kind of waves over.
How do you secure your monsters down there?
Oh, we have doors and cages and the typical
they don't
things.
ever get out though.
Oh no, of course
Okay.
not. No. This is very secure. And besides, there's only 2 ways to get out of here. There is the main entrance, of course, and then there is the secondary entrance. And even these creatures, they wouldn't even know how to get out. They don't know the words.
Oh. You have to know the words to get out?
Ah, indeed.
Oh, what are the words to get out?
He looks over and he's like, the gray skies pass. And then, of course, to get in, it is the gray skies open. And should you ever wish to initiate anybody, well, you actually heard those words already. Don't ask me that, Darcie. I don't have my notes on from last week's episode.
Hold on. No, the gray skies part. By the way. Invite. My notes look like shit.
Darcie, this is a family chat.
There's
family
only...
stream.
Oh, we went from 1 to 3 people.
Oh, wow,
Whoops.
we did. Yikes.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, so Balderdash the GIF, is just looking at you. He's like... and he kind of pulls out his monocle once again and, like, looks at... It's like... Why are you asking about monsters escaping? I didn't actually catch your name.
Worried about being here and being unprepared?
Well, if you were unprepared, you wouldn't have passed our initiation.
Oh, that's a good point. So I guess I'm safe.
Of course,
Yeah.
You have nothing to fear.
Good, okay. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Of course. If there's anything you need, you can usually find me in here. And he kind of goes and he lumbers over behind the bar, which you now notice is like walking hippo-sized. Mm-hmm. He stands behind it and he throws a towel like over his shoulder and leans on it and 100% does not look like a tavern keeper. But he looks like a giant hippo man pretending to be
That's cute. He's cute.
Tavern keeper.
I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
On the way out, I'm gonna punch Charles again.
Okay, so you punch Charles
I want
once
to punch
again.
him right in the gut.
Okay.
And just keep walking.
Okay. And so you find, where are you walking to?
We already talked to all the families. We hunted down Charles because he was acting suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably go see if we have any bodies.
You should. I will also note, since you probably haven't looked at your notes from last week, that several of the victims may have had a connection to the private door.
Yes, I had figured that out. As one of them had lots of scratches.
And there are about a dozen or so other members here as well, including Charles, who is now sporting like what's clearly going to be a black eye.
Good. Serves him fucking right. So we had Lily, Alistair, and hold on. Nope. Nope.
Checking notes.
Sorry.
Makes for good TV.
I know. I'm trying to make connections and it's not happening because I'm exhausted.
Darcie checks her notes to figure out what she's doing next. Do.
I am going to still inspect the body and then I'll come back later.
Okay. So you go to what is clearly the exit door. What do you say?
The gray skies pass.
So you exit, and there's Ellie, Teef, and Ural, and they're all kind of like standing there, and they're like, Where did you go?" And like Ellie is like, "You can't. I went through that door. It just leads to like another house, like 3 blocks away." And when I tried to come back in, it didn't open. How did you get through?
Let's go talk.
Okay. And Teef is like, just kind of like he's got his little spear and he's like pointing it and he's like looking around. He's like, "Yes, let us go elsewhere. The magic door gives me the creeps."
Why?
You walk through it, and you come out another place.
What?
And he's like, It disturbs me, mistress. It disturbs me greatly.
Well, let's go get you calmed down then, Mr. Teef.
Okay.
And
it is starting to get late.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
How late?
It is. It's
like
early.
8:30.
Yeah. Looked over
getting late, guys. We're old. Remember when we used to go out at 8:30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to go out at like 10:30?
I know. Anyways. So if it's already that late, that's a perfect time to be at a bar and have people talk. But I guess I'll come back when it's actually late.
I mean, you can come back whenever you want.
Yeah. So I'm going to go find someone that knows about the bodies and knows where the bodies would be held.
Okay. So you'd have to go back home and talk to Tarl, who's like, wait, that wasn't the first thing that you did? And he just kind of like looks at you, and
I'm just going to stare back blankly.
Gerald steps forward. He's like, that was my fault. That was an oversight on my part. I apologize. And it's like, I see. Well, and he goes and gives you, like, writes down on a piece of paper and, like, hands it to Gerald. And he's like, that is where the body's can found. I would recommend you do it in the morning.
Oh. Cool. Well, I guess we should probably get cleaned up then.
Mm-hmm.
Teef, just do whatever you do.
And he's like, so no baths?
No bath.
He's like, good. And so he just goes and, like, walks.
Oh, poor Teef.
Kind of, like, walks over, and you just see, like, there is kind of a, like, large potted plant. And he just kind of goes, and he's like, I shall see the mistress in the morrow. And he climbs into the potted plant and just, like, disappears into it. And then, like, you wait, like, 10 seconds, and suddenly you just start hearing, like...
He's sleeping in the potted plant.
He is sleeping in the potted plant. He's a kobold, in case you haven't picked up on this yet.
Cool. Kieran? Ellie, do you mind coming back to my room?
Yeah, of course, whatever you'd like.
I like seeing you try to switch the personalities as I say names.
There's way too many.
What about the hags? I'm just kidding.
Doing the hag's voice.
Different campaign. Which is a fantastic voice, by the way. Yeah, so let's go.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, like, bring her in and close the door and act all secret.
All right.
And I'm gonna...
She's like, so what happened between you and Kieran in there?
Oh, we fought a beast.
Oh. Nothing else?
Nope.
Oh. So why'd you bring me in here then?
I wanted to show you this, and I pull out
The mask?
the mask.
She's like,
I almost forgot about that.
oh, that is creepy.
Right? Is there anything magical about this?
She kind of places her hands on it. She's like, yes.
Is there anything cursed about it?
Places her hands on it again. You wait a couple of minutes. No.
Do you know what kind of magic is on it?
Yes.
Google. Actually, probably D&D Beyond. Sorry, guys. This is the thing about one-on-one campaigns between spouses. We only have one viewer. I don't think they get to hear our news today.
I think the viewer is us. It's evocation magic.
Evocation magic. Let's see. We have no viewers! Okay.
Anyways.
So, there's an evocation magic on it. I love you. I'm like so slappy happy right now.
I can tell. It makes for good television.
Oh, this is day 7 in a row at work. And I just pulled a 12-hour. That was a disaster.
She left me at home with our child all weekend.
I did.
Not that I'm complaining. I am a very capable parent who does not complain about raising a child on his own for short periods of time.
Yeah, for short periods of time.
Exactly. I've been doing it since he was born.
Well, yeah, I work
With
like 12-hour
no
days.
complaints whatsoever. Just for the record, I'm not one of those stereotypical dads just like, oh, I have to babysit the kids. No, I am his father.
I sure hope so.
Me too. Anyways,
Jesus. Tangent. This is why we will never be anything more than a podcast for ourselves. So evocation magic, but it's safe for me to like have?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Are you gonna start like wearing it around?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
Good. That would be a look.
Yeah. And then what do you know about this? And I'm gonna show her the little like pendant with the spirals on it.
She looks at it for a second. She's like, that. Where did you get that, Estelia?
It was on my mother's dead body.
She looks at it. She's like, that is the symbol of the Everdark Tyrant, the creature who ruled this land before the Sacred Flame came.
So, what do you know about the Everdark Tyrant other than that?
I mean, I don't know much. I know that the entire reason for the Sacred Flame's existence is to keep the Everdark Tyrant away. Why was it on your mother's body? And why?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out.
How long have you known that?
Not long. I just moved into her room.
And you found it in her room?
Sort of.
She kind of looks at you. She's like, that I would. Do you want me to take that?
No. I want to know what happened.
That is not a symbol that you should show anywhere. And she like pauses. It's been several generations, since the Everdark Tyrant. I only learned what that symbol was, when I was training to become an Ardent. But I'm kind of surprised that something like that even exists. I mean, I've only ever seen it in books, and the Sacred Spire, of course, but that's different.
So I don't want to get rid of it until I know what happened to my mom.
Just be careful with that. That is a dangerous symbol to have.
Do you think the Everdark Tyrant is back? Do you think that they killed my mom?
I certainly hope not. I mean, the Everdark Tyrant was supposed to be destroyed when your grandfather and his, the founding members of the other four families came, to Erde. They used the Sacred Flame to banish him. He can't be back as long as the light of the Sacred Flame shines wherever its light touches. He cannot be present. That is the entire point of the Sacred Flame. It keeps
But his minions can.
No. Monsters, evil creatures, that is the Sacred Flame's purpose, Estelia, is it keeps those creatures at bay. Any monster, wherever the light touches. I mean, even I'll be honest, that dragon egg that we found the other day in Charles's house, I don't know what will happen to that creature when it's born.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yes, no, that's why we haven't had dragons here in 150, 200 years. She smiles and she's like, oh, that's the Sacred Flames. It's not just a symbol, Estelia. It has a very real purpose here. It keeps all of us safe from creatures who would harm us, who would have no problems harming us. When I told you the other day that I was worried that, the Sacred Flame might be dimming, that's why I'm worried. It's not just, a religious tradition. If the Sacred Flame were to ever go out for any reason, the creatures that prowl the forests and the mountains surrounding our country. We would all be in great danger. I mean, we have the armies, yes, and they periodically do whatever it is that they do in the forests, but there are so much of this continent that we haven't explored. I mean, and we know that the monsters are still out there, clearly. And she points at the egg that is kind of sitting there. She's like, clearly, I mean, who knows where that came from?
Do you think that the presence of this symbol, this pendant, and you thinking that the light fading is related?
I didn't. She's like, I'd have to think about that. That's a terrifying thought.
Well, I'm sorry to put this on you.
No, I mean, that's my job as a person of the cloth.
Well, hopefully you can share that information with me when you figure it out. And hopefully it's not true.
Yes, I'll have to pray to the cold Lord and see if there's any insight to be gained here. Well, good night, Estelia. Oh, never a dull day with you around. And she leaves.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No. She'd like to go to sleep.
Do you want to do your dragon thing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But I only do that every 7 days.
No, you need to put it in water. And
oh,
there's an entire
sorry.
process that
I forgot that I hadn't already done that. Yeah, so I need to boil water, add the herbs and the dragon egg.
So you need to get a big cauldron, a bunch of water.
Oh, shit. I'm going to go down. I probably have to do it in the kitchen. I'm going to go down to the kitchen with my dragon egg.
And there's several people there. Dude.
No, probably not with my dragon egg.
I was about to say,
but where am I going to put the fire?
Well, that's a good question, Darcie. So you go down there and you kind of like look, and like the kitchen.
Do you have a big fireplace in my room?
You do.
Let's do it there.
Okay, you do not have a big cauldron in your room.
No, so I need to get the big cauldron.
Okay, and so the kitchen staff just kind of stares at you when you request a big cauldron, and they're like, I
need one like this big.
And they kind of look at you, and like there's a kind of frumpy looking lady, and she's like, "Are you planning on cooking a stew?"
No. I just want to be able to boil water in my room. A lot of water in my room.
Potions?
Not exactly. I'm just practicing some things.
An extended siege?
No, it's Tarl asked me to do this.
Okay.
So, we
will have a cauldron.
I don't always understand how his purposes are, but it's part of my training.
We will bring up a cauldron to you then. That can be arranged.
Like this big?
Sure. We might need to go and buy one, so it might not happen until the morning.
Oh. Is there any way we can rush that? Because I feel like he would really be upset if I didn't start my training tonight.
It's just like, I will speak to the
And I just hand her like 2 pieces of gold.
Ah, yes, 2 pieces of gold for a big cauldron.
Well, that's for you.
Oh!
As a thank you for all your extra hard work getting the cauldron tonight.
Yes, because not... She's like, yes, I'll take care of it. And so, like, 4 hours later...
Did I offend her?
I mean, you just asked for a cauldron at, like, imagine, Darcie.
At 8:30 at night?
Like, by this point in time, it's probably, like, 9, 10 o'clock. Like, it's getting ready to close. Remember when we worked at the bookstore and that asshole would come in, like, 10 minutes before closing? That is 100% what you did to that lady. Only you asked for a cauldron instead of looking at jerseys. But anyways, yes! 4 hours later, a big cauldron gets lugged up. A couple people are just kind of... And also, they have to go up 3 flights of stairs as well.
I didn't ask them to bring it.
You definitely asked them to bring it to your room.
No, I didn't.
Where did you tell them to put it then?
I just asked for a cauldron.
Yes, and they brought it to your room.
Oh.
And they're kind of like... I
was going to make Kieran carry it.
It takes like 2 people to carry it.
Me and Kieran.
Anyways, you have a cauldron.
Cool.
It's about midnight by the time that you actually get everything done that you need to get done with this Dragonade.
Okay.
But it is now comfortably going
and it's
in like
nice boiling
warm. Yeah, near boiling, herby.
Sorry.
Filled with beetle shells.
And I do the beetle shells every week.
Yes. Okay. Anything else?
No, I'll inspect the dead bodies tomorrow.
Okay. So, the next morning, you, Jurl, anyone else?
Kieran.
Okay, the 3 of you...
yeah, Tief's still sleeping in the damn plant.
100% is. You might find him, like, sunning himself when you get back to the house.
It's fine.
So Jurl is... he leads you to a very nondescript building, and you walk in, and it's, like, noticeably cool there. And...
like a morgue?
It is kind of like a morgue, and there is another, like, hooded figure there, and you can see that it is another blade.
Oh, okay.
So you go into a cool room, and you find 4 bodies. 3 of which are very decomposed.
4?
Yeah, there's 4 dead bodies.
Lily, Alistair. Oh, yeah.
Yes. You can count. So, you find, so there's only 1 body that's really in any state to be examined. You notice...
That would be Alistair.
Give me a investigation check.
Wow. Okay. Ooh, critical 1.
It's hard to tell what the material that string is made of.
Fuck. Was it sewn? Or is it just over their mouth?
It's sewn.
Sewn through their mouth. What other things can I distinguish from this thing? I already rolled a critical 1. I see nothing.
You see nothing.
I see nothing.
So, Jurl, though, looks down, and he goes, huh. And there's just silence.
Yeah?
That is strange.
What is it?
The string is not string.
What is it?
Some sort of silk, perhaps.
Oh, shit. On all of them?
You look, give me a investigation check.
12 plus 6, 18.
Yes, it appears to be silk. Kind of webby. You kind of touch very gently and sticky.
Yuck. Beautiful. What about the hands cut off? Was it a clean cut?
Investigation.
Oh, shit. 16.
Yes, very sharp. Clean. Appears to have been done with a single chop.
But like blade clean cut or something like serrated like claws?
No, like it's probably a blade of some sort. And I will note that the creature that you faced off against at the end of last week, its 4 claws were really like blades.
So
basically
have
like
those as
Scyther.
well.
Think like the Pokemon Scyther, only in D&D form.
Okay.
And with 8 legs and totally different.
Yeah, but those are 2 different creatures that would have been involved then.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with the light, the creatures couldn't have come outside. When you found the bodies, did it look like they had died there, or were their bodies just dumped there?
And Ural looks up and he's like, the guards who investigated, it was impossible to tell.
Was there any blood there?
No, but...
And there were no hands around?
No.
Which means that the hands were cut off somewhere else.
Possible, or they were taken.
But then there would have been blood.
Possible. It could have been cleaned.
in the middle of a street?
Not in the street, in a cave.
Oh, yes. I forgot they were in a cave.
In a cave.
In the cave. Cool. In the forest.
In the forest.
Where monsters can go.
No, not this close. No, the forest would be more vulnerable on the edge of the country. Not here.
How far away is that?
Oh, that's like 4 or 5 days travel easily. Maybe even farther.
Okay. So not likely. Okay. Can I go back to the cave?
To the cave? Yeah, sure.
Let's go back to the cave and look around.
Alright, well, you've never been to the cave, so you wouldn't be going back.
Let's go to the cave.
Alright, so you...
I did great investigating, guys.
So you go to the cave.
I doubt we have any watchers right now.
Ural... Let's find out. No. Ural leads you out, and... It's okay, Darcie.
I know. They just don't get to hear the news.
They don't. No one does. However, for those of you, let's see, we're like 45 minutes into this, so there's a chance that somebody from who watches this on YouTube or Twitch might be like, what is the announcement? Be sure to tell all your friends to check us out next Sunday, because once we hit that, we will share our secret with the world. Anyway, so you get to the...
Secret.
It's not really a secret.
It's not a secret.
No. So you get to the cave, and it's outside the city.
Okay.
Ural, actually, you do notice that when you suggest that, Ural goes and rounds up several extra guards.
Oh, monsters?
Just in case.
Oh, okay.
So there's probably, he's like very cautious, maybe because you're the boss's daughter. So in addition to Kieran and you head back to the estate, Kieran goes and like drags Teeth out.
Nothing back to the estate.
Ural is insisting upon it. So you and about a dozen guards go into this cave. It's pretty dark. There are a couple of guards that are stationed outside of it. And you enter, give me an investigation check.
9 + 6, 15.
15. So you start to look around the walls, and you
getting something out.
do notice something. A strange symbol etched into the walls. Looks like this.
Oh, shit.
2 spirals intersecting.
With dots.
4 of them.
Because there are 4 dead bodies.
And Ural looks, and as you kind of like shine your light like on the wall, and Ural looks over and he's like, that was not seen before.
Did you guys check?
I was not here.
Well, there are 4 dead bodies and 4 intersections crossed. They need 2 more.
I see that. Do you know what that symbol is?
I do.
Then you know why this is very worrisome.
I do. I suggest that we continue to monitor this cave.
We have had guards here posted continuously since the bodies
And we
were
should
found.
notify Ellie or some of the individuals that protect the light.
I will. That is House Tharn. We will be sure to pass that along.
Does it look like the circles, the intersections? You guys can probably not see.
There you go.
There you go. Does it look like the dots, like the intersections, were like scratched on, or?
Make an investigation check.
Oh, Jesus. 15 + 6, 21.
They did appear to be etched into the stone. Some appear to be more recent than others.
Yeah. Anything else in the cave? Any remnants of blood? Any other?
You know what I'm going to ask.
12 + 6.
No signs of blood.
Any kind of altar?
Nope.
Any fire pit?
Nope.
Jesus.
Nothing. Appears to be an empty cave. That's the only thing that, besides the fact they found 4 dead bodies in there.
Yeah.
3 but dead bodies, technically. The 4th one was, dragged out by wolves or something.
If we go outside the cave, is there anything around the cave? Any camping areas that the guards didn't create, or...
Make a survival check. That would be a survival.
After I already rolled shit. 4?
No. Nope.
Any... Well, we already know that there's wolves there. Any disturbances, like broken branches or anything? Like they were chased here? No. Okay.
Nope. I mean, this cave isn't too far off the path. Not too far from the road, so it wouldn't be too hard for somebody to carry a body here without...
Yeah. And this, if it's a road, it's had a lot of tire tracks or cart tracks, whatever.
That's the main road leading out of the city.
Okay. Well, I think we should keep this on lockdown and notify House Tharn. And really figure out what we're doing.
He goes, so when you entered the door with the vital boy, where did you go?
To a club?
How many people were at this club?
Lots. I'm planning on going back.
Maybe that should be our next step. Our investigation seems to have led us to that place. We should continue.
Agreed. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave you and your military men here, but Kieran and I should go.
The escort shall accompany us back to the city.
Cool.
And he kind of like nods at the 2 guards that were stationed outside the cave. Okay, so you make it back to the city. No incidents whatsoever. Where are you going to next?
I'm going to go to the private door.
Okay, so you enter the private door. You and Kieran, what do you say?
The gray sky's open.
Gray sky's open. You enter, and there is, there's only like 6 or 7 people there right now. You do see Balderdash. He's at the tavern. Oh! Back so soon! I see that you're going to be a frequent person here. Not all of our club members are seen day to day. It is a pleasure to see you.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. I wouldn't have come if I wasn't ready for some adventure.
Well, our next hunt's not for several more days.
I know, but I want to make sure that I'm on that list.
Well, of course, all of our members are on the list.
Beautiful. And I think it's time for a drink.
He pours you he just starts pouring you a beer and just hands it to you.
I'm gonna sit. Are they got the people that are there? Like you said, there's like 4 people there or something.
There's like 2 people in the tavern room.
Okay.
2 other people.
Are they both sitting at the same table?
No.
Okay. Do any of them look friendly?
They both look like pretty old. They're like, kind of like the folks that you'd see at a VFW. On like at 3 o'clock.
I'm gonna like nod at them and see like as I pass to the first table if he smiles back or.
Oh yeah, they're very like jovial.
I'm gonna sit down at the one table then and just start doing common talk to him. Where's he from? All that jazz.
Okay. He's actually affiliated with your family's house, and he was like quite surprised to see you there.
What's your name?
His name is Robert Prude.
Is he a prude? Yes, he is.
We'll have to find out.
I'm gonna put next to old man.
He's got like a big bushy white like mustache that combines with his like the mutton chops sort of thing going on.
Yeah. So as we're talking, like how you have conversation, I'm just gonna start going like this on it, and just for fun, like just making fun little designs, but then always having that in the middle to see if he reacts at all.
He doesn't. He's not paying attention at all.
Okay. So I'm going to talk and... what brings you here, Robert?
Well, I'm retired, of course. It's a fun way to fill my days. Yeah, the monthly hunts are always a pleasure to watch. You know, a little bit of danger, a little bit of adventure. And, you know, I find a lot of kindred spirits here.
Do they always take place in here?
Oh, yes, in the well.
Has anyone ever died?
Oh, no. There was a close call, about 6 months ago. And he kind of, like, sighs for a second. He's like, nobody died there, but we did recently discover that about, half of that party has since passed away.
Oh.
And kind of, like, trails
anyone
off.
that I would have known?
Well, you may have been familiar with Alistair.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was another... actually, I was the person who brought him, into the club. But yes, Alistair, he was a member, and there was a creature, some spidery creature. And it went... The fight went poorly, unfortunately. And kind of like... Just, they didn't have a good strategy to take on the beast.
Who else was in the party?
There was 4.
There was only 4 in the party?
Yes.
Okay.
That's how all the parties, 4 people to a party. Let me think. There was a man, yes. There was Johnson Cladmore. There was Norvlactus. And of course there was Marcus as well. And Marcus too, we recently learned had passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, we were all quite disappointed to hear. Alistair made himself scarce after that party. He only recently returned just a few weeks ago.
Oh.
Yes, about 10 days ago, I believe.
Oh, what brought him back?
Well, he said he was very busy with some sort of deal and needed to blow off some steam. Wanted to get put back on the adventuring list. So he did seem to make amends with his the 2 remaining party members of his group, so I don't think there's any hard feelings.
Oh, well, that's good. Who was the 4th person of their party?
I told you, there was Alistair, there was Marcus.
I know, but he got back in with Johnson.
No, the parties are randomly determined.
Oh, so he didn't play again? He didn't fight again?
Of course not. No.
Okay.
That was only about a week ago, maybe 2. And the next hunt's not for several more weeks.
Okay. Well, that would be 2.
Yes.
I see. I know that my family had me go see, actually see those 2, the families of those 2. I also went and saw the family of Rentlos and Lily.
I've never heard of Rentlos. Lily, that name sounds familiar. I believe she was a waitress here.
Oh. That's interesting.
Yes. Come to think of it, I believe she was chummy with, both Nor and Johnson.
Oh.
But she quit months ago.
Oh. You haven't seen her until she passed away?
And his eyes widened. She passed away.
Yeah, I had to give my condolences to the family.
Goodness. Seems like quite a few deaths connected to the club.
It's a little worrisome.
Yes, indeed.
But you don't know who Rentlos is?
I'd
never met him myself.
No, never heard of him.
Oh, okay.
I will note that he seems to have just been someone who... He lives not too far from here.
Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate your hospitality and welcoming me to the club.
Of course. And he goes and he points over at the other person. And he's like, if you're interested in learning more about that adventuring party and hope to learn from the mistakes, that man over there, and you see he's kind of like looks to be in his like early 40s. And he's kind of just sitting there and he's nursing a drink. Actually, the drink's just sitting in front of him. He's just kind of like staring at it. He's like, that is Noel. So.
Yeah, I think that'd be good before I end up in my own adventuring party.
Yes, they say that learning from other people's mistakes is usually the best course.
Well, thank you. And I'll approach Nor.
Okay.
And I'll make sure that I do the same like spiral thing with my cup as we talk.
Okay.
Just to see if he.
So Nora like looks up and kind of looks. He's like, "Oh, you're the new member."
I am.
Well, it's a pleasure meeting you.
I've heard that from Robert over there that you're a good person to talk to if I'm interested in doing the adventuring. You have a lot of experience. They're just telling the new people about it. I wouldn't say that I'm experienced in adventuring, but any kind of looks and he pulls down his shirt and he exposes a very nasty looking scar, and you see what appears to be like it's still like purple, and you actually see like almost like a purple mark that kind of extends down the shoulder, and there's two noticeable like puncture wounds, not like like scars. Okay.
And it's like, that was my last encounter.
Ouch. What was that?
That was an ettercap.
Oh, those are nasty creatures.
So I've learned. It was not great. And kind of just looks and he's like, honestly, it was, don't want to speak ill of the dead. Was one of my party members' faults mainly. Alistair kept saying that the creature had a weak point on his left side, and the creature did not.
Oh, so Alistair misled you.
I don't think it was deliberate. He just seemed a little bit enthusiastic. I think that he thought there was something that just wasn't there, and things just went south in a hurry. Creature, webbed Alistair up and got me. And
what do you mean he webbed him up?
Oh, he shoots webs and he can pull and push and do all sorts of crazy things with them. Never seen anything like it.
Like their whole bodies, or just faces, or?
Well, it comes out of the face, but once they get you, it's almost like there's webs attached to their hands. So, he was just stringing. Last, he's like, I didn't even think of the pun. Stringing us along. But, it was just one thing after another after that. It seemed everything started to go downhill.
What else happened?
Oh, I don't really want to talk about it.
That's fair. I don't want to pressure you, but is there any way that I can talk to Johnson or Marcus?
Oh, Marcus is dead.
Oh. What happened there? Did he die during the fight?
No. Marcus, he disappeared actually a little bit after the event. It was strange. He just kind of disappeared one day, and no one ever saw from him again. We just heard a week ago that they found his body outside the walls, which is odd, but.
Oh, is Johnson still around then?
Oh yeah, you can find Johnson. He'll be in here.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry you had such a bad time.
No.
Do you still sign up for the adventures?
And he kind of is like, no, I can't. And he kind of like holds his hand up, and you see that there's a pretty noticeable tremor.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, the poison that the Ettercap got me with reacted poorly. Just adventuring wounds,
Yeah. Did he react at all to the spiral on the table? Okay. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, yeah, it's swell. Johnson, you might want to talk to Balderdash. Johnson's actually, he's the main supplier of the monsters.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, wish he would have known what was up with that with the Ettercap.
Sorry. Okay. There's no one else in there?
No, those are the only two people.
Okay, well, I guess I'll take my drink to Balderdash. I'm going to sit down at Balderdash's table.
And then he gets like, so you've been talking to Nor.
Yeah.
Poor lad's had it rough the last few months.
That's what I hear.
Well, he was a member of the disastrous adventuring party I was telling you about, and then, well, it was him and the girl.
Him and the girl?
Oh, he was fond of one of our waitresses, and they got into some sort of confrontation. And she, whatever happened between them, she quit. I guess she never showed up to work again.
Oh, wow.
And then, well, we actually recently learned that she had passed away. Which is very sad, and he's taking the news poorly.
Oh. Was she friends with any of the other parties since she was friends with Nor?
She was, both Johnson and Nor were sweet on the girl. She seemed much more friendly with Nor than she was with Johnson. Johnson, he just kind of like pauses. Nice lad, very resourceful. Does not necessarily know how to speak with other people.
Oh.
Wasn't always. It's like, he was never the most sociable, but after that adventuring mishap, well, he just seemed to be a little bit more standoffish.
Do you think he'd be willing to talk to me about the adventuring?
Oh, I'm sure. I'll point him out to you when I see him.
That'd be awesome. I'm also doing this roll on the table as we're talking. Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Worth a shot.
Yeah.
Who else is there?
That's it.
Okay. I'm just gonna sit around and drink with Kieran.
Okay. Kieran's just kind of like sitting there. He's like, so, this isn't a bad job. Besides the decomposing corpses and spider monsters and,
we're going to have to fight some of those monsters at some point, right?
I hope not.
We're totally going to have to fight some of those. So we should probably get some kind of, like... I can't talk anymore. For the poison.
Oh, antidote.
Antidote,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And Kieran looks over. He's like, you guys still have that, the Ettercap? And Balderdash. Oh, yes, he's down in the well.
Can we see it? You said that they're all locked up.
Oh, yes, of course.
That'd be so cool.
And so he goes and he puts his towel down and he lumbers out towards the main room and he follows those and he kind of like, he's like, oh. And he points over and you see like a kind of like taller guy, graying hair, kind of like a sharp chin. He's like, that is actually Johnson. Johnson, if you would, we're going to go down to the pit for a second. They wish to see the Ettercap, but this is Estelia Olafaros of House Olafaros, and we were just talking about you. If you would simply stay there a moment. And Johnson kind of nods. So, you know, you see like a rope and there's a little like elevator. And so the three of you guys slowly go down and you're in this large cavern.
The same one we fought?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now that you've kind of got like a better, after you adjust the light, you see that there are 7 different kind of like alcoves, each of which are barred with a large gate. And so he's like, this one is, and he's like, this one over here is the Ettercap. And so he strides over to it. And he's like, huh. And kind of like bangs on it. He's like, usually it just jumps right out at us. And he's like, and kind of looks at it with his monocle. He's like, Estelia, if you wouldn't mind, my eyes aren't the best always in the darkness. Can you look in there for a second?
Oh, look.
Make a quick perception check.
10.
10?
Yeah. I have dark vision.
Oh, well then you would be able to see. There's nobody in there.
Well, shit.
And also, carved into the far wall, it's a little bit hard, can't make out a lot of detail, but you can mark 2 spirals going in opposite directions and intersecting.
How smart is the Ettercap?
Oh, quite. He's one of the more intelligent creatures. So did you say that you see it?
No.
And he looks and he's like, no. And he like takes it.
Yeah, I'm also pulling my blades.
And he pulls out his pistols and starts looking around. And he's like,
I look around behind us and everywhere.
Give me a quick perception check.
5.
Nothing.
With my dark vision.
However, Kieran kind of like looks up. He like points up and he's like, something's happening up there, out in the club, and like then you can hear like a commotion, you know, going too, and he's like, and immediately, Balderdash starts like running over to the elevator.
Yeah.
And he's like, no one is supposed to have access down here, without my say-so. And are you following him?
Yes.
And he immediately, you know, stuffs one of his pistols in, and he's just like pulling you guys up with the rope, and it's just lurching up very quickly.
Okay.
You get to the top, and there is, there's Nor like lying there, and he's like kind of like slumped up against the wall, like, you know, up against the wall, and he's holding like one of his shoulders, and you see like a red stain like starting to spread, and he's like, Johnson, when you went down there, just started to make for the exit, and I tried to flag him down, and he just threw a knife at me, and he's gone. And Balderdash like goes and he like pulls out a potion.
Good. And
like, you know, like hands it to him, and he's like, the words, what words did he say? And he's like, it was not the exit words, not one of the exit words, something about the gray. He goes, would it happen to be the gray skies roll? And he's like, yeah, I've never heard this. He's like, oh, dearie me.
What's that mean?
We have the secondary exit, you see. Johnson knows the words to that, because that is how he transports the monsters in from the bay.
Where does it go?
To the docks.
Let's go.
Okay. So you guys go out, and Nor's like, I did manage to like get him right on the nose. Or no, it wasn't Nor, but like,
is Robert still there?
I'm sure he is. Yeah, he's
I'm gonna send him to my father's house to get guards and send them to the port.
Oh, okay. He's like,
from the
yes,
house.
yeah. He's like, of course. What should I tell them?
Tell them that Estelia needs them at the port ASAP with all the guards that went on our...
Which one of the docks?
Well, it's all the same area, right?
No, there's 6.
Which one of the docks? I asked Balderdash.
Johnson... He kind of, like, thinks for a second. Johnson, actually, he works for House Vital.
Oh, fuck. House Vital, probably.
And, so Robert, kind of, like, nods. It's like, oh, yes, of course. And he's like, well, adventure. And he strolls out the door, and it's like, and Balderdash holds his hand out for a second, waits for the door to close. It's like, the gray skies roll. He's like, I have not actually been in the city in quite some time. This will be interesting. And so the 3 of you depart into the city. And since you are tired,
I'm very tired.
we are going to call it an early night tonight.
Okay.
And we will pick up with a nice chase scene, and we will likely have a conclusion to the murders at the private door.
I just wrote, go, 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 go.
Alright, well, thank you very much for watching us. Sorry for the short episode tonight, but Darcie is in the middle of a, 12 in a row, and all that jazz. Anyways,
Poor decisions were
you
made.
can catch up on our episodes at our YouTube channel, or you can simply watch them here on the Twitch channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. It does help us, We're going to be doing this.
We're doing it no matter what.
But, the more
fun.
the more people we get, the more fun it becomes, Anyways, you can find the stream on Twitter at DungeonD8. You can find me on Twitter at CHofferCbus.
And I'm at DHoffer90.
And you can also find my articles on comicbook.com. Dungeons & Dragons, Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus comes out this week, so you can expect my review. And we'll see you next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.